What does it mean to truly have a right? And how can we make these rights a living reality for all? As we delve into the world of rights and empowerment, these are the questions we need to ponder. Rights are not just abstract concepts penned down in legal documents, but living, breathing entities that shape our lives, our societies, and our world. From the Universal Declaration of Human Rights in the late 40s to the civil rights movements of the 60s, and even to the digital rights battles of today, the history of human rights is a testament to our collective quest for justice, equality, and freedom. Empowerment, on the other hand, is the key that unlocks these rights. It's about equipping ourselves with the knowledge, skills, and confidence to stand up for our rights and those of others. It's about transforming from passive observers to active participants in societal change. The journey to understanding and exercising our rights is an empowering one, and it starts now. The world of legal terminology can seem like an intimidating labyrinth, but fear not, we're here to guide you through it. Let's start with the basics. When we talk about a legal dispute, we often hear the words plaintiff and defendant. Now, these aren't just fancy words for those involved in a legal battle. The plaintiff is the person or group who initiates the lawsuit, essentially the one claiming that they've been wronged. On the other side of the courtroom, we have the defendant, the one accused of causing the harm. Now, on to litigation. It's a term that sounds as complicated as a high school math problem, but it's actually just a formal way to describe the process of resolving disputes in court. Think of it as the umbrella term for everything that happens when a lawsuit is filed. While we're at it, let's also talk about jurisdiction. It's a word that can make your head spin, but it's simply the authority granted to a legal body to administer justice. Think of it as the where in law. It determines which court has the power to hear a case. And how about a statute? It's not a statue you'd find in a park, but a written law passed by a legislative body. These are the rules that govern us, and knowing them can be a powerful tool in our advocacy arsenal. Ever heard of precedent? It's not just about being punctual. In legal terms, it refers to a court decision that serves as an example for future cases of similar nature. It's like a guiding star for judges and lawyers alike. Finally, let's unwrap due process. It's a safeguard that ensures everyone gets a fair shot in the legal system. It's the guarantee that laws will be fair and that everyone will be given an equal opportunity to present their case. Understanding these terms is the first step towards becoming a well-informed advocate for our rights. Understanding the legal process is like learning a new language, but with a bit of guidance, it can become second nature. Imagine you're embarking on a journey. The legal process is your map, guiding you through the twists and turns of the justice system. Let's break it down into manageable steps. First, we have the initiation phase. This is where it all begins. If you believe your rights have been violated, you start by filing a complaint. This is like sending an invitation to the other party, inviting them to join you in the legal dance. Next, we move to the discovery phase. This is where both parties gather evidence to support their respective arguments. It's like a treasure hunt, where the treasure is information that strengthens your case. Then comes the pre-trial phase. At this stage, both parties present their evidence and arguments to the judge in a preliminary hearing. It's like a dress rehearsal, where you get a chance to refine your performance before the main event. The main event, of course, is the trial. This is where both parties lay out their cases in full, presenting their evidence and arguments to the judge or jury. It's the grand finale of the legal process, where all the preparation and hard work come to fruition. And finally, we have the post-trial phase. This is where the judge or jury delivers their verdict and the court issues its judgment. It's the moment of truth, where you find out whether your journey through the legal process has paid off. But remember, even if the verdict doesn't go your way, the journey doesn't have to end there. There's always the possibility of appeal, where you can ask a higher court to review your case. It's like a second chance, an opportunity to keep fighting for your rights. So, there you have it, the legal process broken down into 5 main stages: initiation, discovery, pre-trial, trial, and post-trial. It may seem complex, but with a bit of guidance, you can navigate it like a seasoned explorer. Knowing how the legal process works empowers us to effectively stand up for our rights. Grassroots activism, a powerful tool that allows us to bring about real change. But what does it involve? It's about ordinary people like you and me coming together to champion a cause, to stand up for what we believe is right. It's about local communities taking the initiative and leading the charge, starting at the ground level, hence the term grassroots. Grassroots activism is important because it's the people's voice. It's the collective roar of the many, not just the few. It's a demonstration of democracy in action where everyone has a say and every voice matters. It's a way for us to fight for our rights, to challenge injustices, and to advocate for change. You see, grassroots activism puts the power back into the hands of the people. It's a way to bypass the red tape, the bureaucracy, and the political gridlock that can often hinder progress. It's about making a difference right here, right now, in our own backyards. There are countless examples of successful grassroots activism across the globe. Take the civil rights movement in the United States. It started as a grassroots effort by ordinary citizens who were tired of racial segregation and discrimination. Their collective action led to significant legal and societal changes. Or consider the Chipko movement in India. In the early 1970s, local women in the state of Uttarakhand embraced trees to prevent them from being cut down. Their non-violent resistance sparked a nationwide environmental movement and resulted in the Indian government implementing strict forestry conservation measures. These are just a couple of examples, but they illustrate the power and potential of grassroots activism. They show us that when ordinary people come together for a common cause, extraordinary things can happen. So let's remember that change doesn't always have to come from the top. It can start with us, with our actions, with our voices. It can start at the grassroots level. Grassroots activism is proof that when we stand together, we can make a difference. We've learned about rights, legal terms, and processes. But how do we put all this knowledge into action? Let's dive into some practical strategies for advocacy. First, organizing a peaceful protest. The key to a successful protest lies in clear communication and organization. You need to understand the issue at hand, articulate your demands, and ensure your message is easy to understand. Remember, a peaceful protest is about creating awareness and advocating for change, not creating chaos. Next, lobbying. This is the process of influencing public and government policy at all levels, local, state, and national. To lobby effectively, you need to have a clear goal, a well-researched plan, and a team of dedicated individuals. It's about presenting facts, sharing stories, and persuading decision-makers to take action. And yes, it takes time and patience, but the results can be immensely rewarding. Now let's talk about social media. In the digital age, social media platforms are powerful tools for advocacy. They allow us to reach a global audience, share our stories, and create a ripple effect of change. However, using social media for advocacy is not just about posting and sharing. It involves strategic planning, creating engaging content, and building a community of supporters. Remember, consistency is key. And finally, a word of caution. Advocacy is a marathon, not a sprint. It requires resilience, persistence, and a deep belief in the cause you're fighting for. There will be setbacks, there may be resistance, but don't let that discourage you. In the end, advocacy is about empowering ourselves and others. It's about standing up for what is right, challenging injustices, and making our voices heard. It's about creating a world that respects and values every individual's rights. With these strategies, we are not just aware of our rights, we are ready to fight for them. We've come a long way in our journey towards understanding and fighting for our rights. We've equipped ourselves with knowledge, from the crucial lingo of legal terms to the intricate workings of the legal process. We've explored the immense power that lies in grassroots activism and the ways we can tap into this energy to effect change. We've also delved into practical strategies for advocacy, arming ourselves with actionable steps to make our voices heard. This journey of empowerment is not a one-time event, but a continuous process. As we navigate this world, it's essential to keep learning, keep questioning, and keep pushing for progress. Our voices matter, our actions have weight, and together we can shape a more equitable society. Remember, understanding your rights is the first step to empowerment. Stand up, speak out, and make a difference.